Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I recognize that for the minister, for both ministers, this is a very difficult bill. Overall, I certainly support C-45. I think they've in general struck the right balance. But I am disappointed that some of the Senate amendments have been rejected, and I wonder if the minister could reconsider. I tried similar amendments when this was before committee. The ones that I could generally lump together are Clause 9, pages 10 and 11, and another one further in Clause 51, pages 29 to 31, ones that deal with what we might characterize as social sharing. I'm very concerned that young people won't realize that if they're 18 years old and their best friend is 17 years old, 11 months and 2 weeks, that passing a joint to them in a social setting would constitute distribution and could involve even jail time. I think that we ought to look at these amendments that came from the Senate. And again, I think the government's done a pretty fair job here. I have a lot of concerns for regulation. I'll raise those later. I'm very concerned to make sure that legal growing outdoors of organic cannabis is going to be permitted. But for now, looking at these amendments, I wonder if there might be some reconsideration around this particular area of concern.
The Honourable Minister of Health. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
My colleague for her question. I have to indicate very clearly that the Senate, as I've indicated earlier, has certainly been studying this piece of legislation for the past 7 months, and we absolutely appreciate the work that they've done. We've given careful consideration to all of the amendments that the Senate has brought forward, and after discussions with my colleagues, the Minister of Justice and also the Minister of Public Safety and also many Cabinet colleagues and the Parliamentary Secretary, we've certainly made some decisions to accept some amendments and some that we've decided to oppose. When it comes to the specific amendment that my friend and colleague has mentioned, we really feel that it's almost counterintuitive in order to with respect to the sharing at such a close age. We certainly recognize that it's an area that we've given close consideration, but at this point our government is not prepared to accept that amendment.
Question.